Before we talk in too much detail about the process of applying for OPT or optional practical training, let's spend a second or two talking about what is OPT. Of course, many students are aware of this benefit, but for those of you who are not familiar, we're going to talk about that here. OPT, or optional practical training, is a benefit of and a continuation of your F1 student status. It's not a work visa and it's not sponsored by an employer. Technically, it's supported by Santa Clara. And while you're using this work authorization benefit, you continue to be an F1 international student sponsored by Santa Clara. You don't need a job lined up to apply for OPT, but what you're applying for is a work authorization document, specifically an employment authorization document or an EAD card that allows you to work in the US for a year after you complete your academic program. You are eligible for OPT once per degree level. So if you do OPT after your bachelor's degree and then go back and do a master's degree, you could do OPT again. And if your degree is in a STEM field, science, technology, engineering, or math, you're eligible not just for 12 months, but for 24 or 2 additional years of STEM OPT extension. Again, what you're applying for is actually a card issued by USCIS, US Citizenship and Immigration Service, that proves you're allowed to work in the US. I'll show you a picture of the card. It looks kind of like a driver's license almost, and it'll be your photo and your biographical information. Of course, this person's last name probably isn't Specimen. And so what you're doing as you put together your OPT application is applying for this secure employment authorization document. A few notes about OPT. Again, you don't need a job to apply, but you will need to start working once your card becomes valid. And we'll talk a little bit about that in our other videos. The main restriction on employment for OPT is that you must be doing practical training, or another way of saying employment, related to your major or your field of study. This means that you cannot use your OPT EAD card to, for example, drive for Uber or be a barista making coffee at Starbucks. You're going to have to be doing something related to your major, and we're happy to talk to you about what that looks like if you have questions. Hopefully this gives you just a really quick introduction to OPT and what it is. In our other videos, we're going to talk more about how to apply and the timeline for applying.